Welcome to Art's Place, conservative talk from a different view. From the Casablanca studio in Golden, Colorado. Hosted by Art Carlson. At 4'6", liberals fear him, and conservatives love him. He's definitely a giant among men. Now, here's your host, Art Carlson.
Yeah, welcome to another episode of Art's Place. The first one of this year on YouTube. Welcome, everybody. Should be a great show today. Today we're going to talk about these, what is that? State of the Union speech. Yes, last Tuesday we're going to talk about that. Some of the highlights and some of the lowlights of that. And a little later on we're going to talk about that wacky congresswoman from New York, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. We're going to talk about her and some of her far-out left-wing loony ideas out there. So, welcome to the show. We're back on Facebook. Should be a good show today. All right, we're up to 4 people watching. That is wonderful. All right, so mainly I loved the speech. I thought it was one of his Trump's better speeches. He was calling out for unity, and I loved how he really nailed the liberals on working together for greatness, making America great again. And I just loved how the Democrats just sat there stone-faced whenever Trump had something good about the economy and something that was great about what was happening in the country. But one of the high points was when he mentioned the number of women that were elected to Congress, and that got a big applause. I mean, all the women, especially all the Democrat women, the freshman women, who were all dressed in white, which is ironic that way back the Democrats used to wear all white, but they had little white hoods too, so it's kind of ironic that they would chose white instead of some other color, but it was interesting to see the faces on the black Democrat congressmen. They're all stone-faced when Trump mentioned that record low unemployment in the black and Hispanic communities. They just sat there stone-faced, and they can't take credit for it because they were all against what he wanted to do. Lower the income tax rates. There's no tax cuts. Let's get this straight, folks. There are no tax cuts. There are tax rate cuts. And we will, later on in the show, we will talk about AOC and some of her really out there conclusions about taxes and stuff. But let's get back to the State of the Union speech and how Trump was talking about unity. And I thought that was really good. And the other high points was talking about abortion. I thought, oh boy, here we go. This could be a hot one. But the way he did it, he pulled it off with a lot of class, and he really made the Democrats look really bad. And there were a lot of other really good points that he made in his speech. economic-wise and the culture. Oh, the other big point that he made was that the United States would never become a socialist nation. And the looks on the Democrats' faces was priceless. And then watching that idiot Nancy Pelosi sitting behind him, looking at papers. I mean, how disrespectful. The president is giving a speech to the union, and she can't take the time to pay attention to what he's saying and just, sit there. She doesn't have to agree with everything he says. I mean, just be respectful. When you had a Republican House leader under Obama, you didn't see that kind of shenanigans going on when he was president. I just really thought that the Speaker Pelosi just showed a lot of disrespect towards Trump. And that look on OAC's face during the speech. I mean, she looked like a deer in headlights. I mean, she just sat there like that and just couldn't understand. All right, welcome to the show, Jerry and Coast to Coast Drones. All right, we got some people jumping in. That's awesome. So, and then they showed Camilla Harris' face, and oh God, that was priceless too. I mean, this is one of the contenders that is in the race for the presidency in 2020. So it's interesting to see all these Democrats that are jumping in on in the race, and it'll be interesting to see how all of that unfolds in the next year or so. So what else? I mean, Jerry and I'm assuming Bill from Coast to Coast Drones. What are your thoughts on if you did see the State of the Union speech? And it was a long one too. It was almost an hour and a half, but I stayed glued to it. I watched the whole thing, and I usually don't watch these, or if I do, I'll just watch maybe a half hour or so, and then if it doesn't, inspire me, something like that, then I usually just cut out. But I thought it was a good speech. But here are my thoughts. What's going to happen? The president's calling for unity, and I bet you that the Democrats are just going to dig in their heels, and they're not going to do anything. There's not going to be any compromising at all on the Democrat side. You'll see some compromise on our side, but it's not going to go anywhere. And I think not long from now, we're heading towards another possible shutdown. And I think that the Democrats are really losing out on this, digging in their heels over this border wall. I just saw a little while ago that Trump's approval rating is going up. I mean, his approval rating is now higher than it was, I think Barack Obama's was at this time in his administration. Well, thanks for that. I'm glad you're supporting my show. Anyway, a little information about the show. It's a political conservative talk show that I do once a week. It's been on hiatus for quite a while, and now I'm bringing it back to YouTube. And I'm using VMix software to put on the show, and it's looking a little more professional with the setup that I have here. You can see my name, Art's Place, and the host. Oh yeah, all right, we got someone from Greece joining in. Thank you very much, Delit. And Dallas, what is the opinion of your countrymen in Greece? What do they think of Donald Trump? Do they like him? Do they hate him? Are they indifferent? By the way, Greece is one of many, many countries that I want to go to somewhere. Dalitz Mark. Okay. All right. I'll say the whole name. Excuse me. Steve Epstein from Flatliners Comedy Club. Welcome to the show. Or DJ. Hey, that works great for me. The audio, oh, I'm glad you guys think the audio is working great. I don't know if you guys got in early enough to see that opening line there, my intro. That was recorded, well, the audio was done by a high school classmate of mine, Guy Copeland. His father was a TV anchor person in Detroit back in the 70s. Back in the 70s. And he did a bunch of intros for me. This was back around 2011, 2000, around that time when I was doing this show. It was on Blog Talk Radio. And it was a live streaming radio show that I did, and I stopped doing it when was it? 2013. The quality of the audio wasn't very well, so I went on hiatus. I brought it back about a year or two ago on Facebook, and for a couple shows there, I had Chris Cook on, and she was, by the way, congratulations, Chris, on becoming the GOP chair for the county of Denver. Congratulations. And so I did it on Facebook for quite a while. I tried to simulcast on both Facebook and YouTube, but I was having some bandwidth issues with that, streaming on both platforms. So I decided to go with Facebook and did Facebook Live for many, many months. And now that I have VMix, I'm able to bring a much more professional looking show on YouTube. And for now, it looks like I'm starting to pick up a few new subscribers to the channel. And that's the main reason why I wanted to go to YouTube, is to grow this channel as well as my other channels that I have, my drone channel, my fishing channel. I don't know what I'll do with my cooking channel that I have. But hey, it's great. We're off to a good start. We got, about 3 or 4 people in, which is really great to have, which is better than the last time I was on YouTube. I wasn't getting anybody in the chats. But now we are hitting the ground running, and this show is going to be really good. So, down later down the road, I will have merchandise that I will sell. I've got this T-shirt here, my Arts Place T-shirt. I had this made a few years back by my friend Grant Barrett, who used to have a trophy and awards shop in Aurora before the light rail came in, and now that building is gone. I think they moved it around the corner on one of the side streets. All right. Well, thanks, Coast to Coast Drone. Thanks for stopping by. Let everybody know, let all your friends know about this show, and let's build this channel up. Probably what I'll do is there's a channel called PUSA, P-U-S-A, and they do a live streaming show, and they help people like myself to grow our subscribership and make the show grow a little bit. It helps to get our name out there. So, and that's what's going on here, and I'm really excited about getting this show going, and it's looking really good. The stream health is looking really good. Okay, I got a message from, well, Bill, you know, I have no problems with Democrats. As long as we can have a mature debate, talk about ideas without getting nasty about it. And that's what this show is about. I may poke fun at a few folks, but hey, there are people on my side of the aisle that I don't agree with. And case in point, there is a what I call a phony Second Amendment group here in Colorado called Rocky Mountain Gun Owners. And I don't think they are a legit outfit. I think they're out to get a quick buck. Their goal is to try to get Democrats in, because they know that when Democrats are in control, money starts flowing into their coffers like you wouldn't believe. So that's why we kept getting some really marginal candidates, and these are candidates that are backed by this group. And there's this battle going on between the what they call establishment Republicans, but I call them, you know, the mainstream Republicans, the grown-ups. And these people, they claim to be all about liberty, but they keep helping Democrats get elected with these crappy candidates. So they're butting heads all the time. So I think that is why I have this view about the Philippines. You know, why I just want to retire, go there, and just kind of, you know, forget about what's going on here and just live out my twilight years, my golden years, and enjoy myself. And not just get all caught up with this phony baloney stuff that's going on here. But Washington State, beautiful state. The eastern part of the state, very conservative. The western part of the state, around the Seattle, Tacoma area, very liberal. You got little pockets out on the east that are liberal too, like down in Pullman, where Washington State University is. It's a college town. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, and this is the only place where I will do political talk. On my other shows, I don't even go there. I just talk about those things, and that's it. But hopefully, I can get more folks here. Let's grow this channel. Let's have fun. Maybe oh, and later on when I get figure out how to get the call in working, we'll have guests, and that'll make for an interesting show. I know a lot of people that were former Congress people and current Congress people that I could get on the show that would make this really interesting. Also, I have some conservative talk show friends here in Denver that I would like to get on the show. So that'll really get things going here. So I'm trying to think. So Trump is he talked about the wall and how important that is, and and then he talked about El Paso, how El Paso went from being a very violent city down there on the border, and when the wall went up, the crime rate went down, which is true. I mean, the same thing happened in San Diego. And he's not talking about building this huge wall like China did several hundred years ago. He's talking about putting up a barrier in places where people are going around the checkpoints and the port of entries and getting into the country. And it's not just folks from Central and South America that we are concerned with. We are concerned with other foreigners coming in, such as terrorists from the Middle East. And I know a lot of the people that are the illegals that are here are people that came in on a visa and overstayed their visa. That may be true or not, I don't know. But if so, we need to strengthen our immigration rules, and we need to update them. And we need to make it so it's a little more fair. It needs to be more streamlined so that people that are legitimately want to come here have a faster track to get to this country. Like case in point, Filipinos, they could only come to this country on a tourist visa if they own property or a business in their homeland. I think their reason is they don't want people coming in and, like I said earlier, overstaying their visa and, so to speak, live in the shadows. So they want to encourage people to come here when they have a vested interest back in their home country, so that they will know that they will go back to their homeland. All right, so let's talk about OAC. A beautiful young lady, but she knows how to use media and manipulate the media. She's on all the talk shows like Colbert and shows like that. And she's getting all the attention. But some of her ideas are just really way out in left field, so to speak, like this Green New Deal. Uh, uh, she wants to eliminate air travel, and she wants to curtail trucking to something like 99%. She wants curtail it. I mean, basically, she wants us to go back to pre-industrial age living. That would collapse the economy in no time. If people cannot travel and we can't move goods from this country to another country, and if we can't travel abroad or even travel in our homeland, she's talking about setting, yes, and cow farts she wants. Thank you, Steve. And they want to use high-speed rail. You know how much that would cost? Oh, all right. So, is this the, I'm guessing this is soccer, DJ, that your Greece lost to Finland? Oh, well. Oh, and the championship. Oh, wow. Interesting. So, basically, how does she want, I mean, she wants us on high-speed trains, but what about other modes? I mean, does she expect us to go by horse and wagon, stagecoach? I mean, and another comment she said was, $1 into infrastructure, we get back $1. And she says every dollar of tax cuts is $1 loss. I mean, did she take an economics class? That is the most ridiculous thing I'd ever heard. Whenever you lower tax rates, that you will increase revenue. I mean, you're not losing money. The pie gets bigger because what happens is people get to keep their own money, especially some of the big companies. I call them the productive class. These are the people that have the businesses that whenever they get to keep some of their money, they're able to redistribute that back into the business. And when they do that, then they're able to cut their costs of their goods. And when they cut costs, then they're selling more. When they're selling more, their profits go up, and they learn how to streamline their costs in their business. They increase the wages of their workers. She just doesn't get it. Whenever you have tax rates go up, wages come down because companies are not going to give out raises when the economy is bad, or she just doesn't understand how economics work. I would like to see the freshman Democrat class go take an economics course by Ben Stein. That guy, he knows uh, economics. And also uh, when employers give raises to their employees, then those people have more disposable income to buy more goods or other goods or go on a trip or buy big ticket items. And that grows the economy. Then they become they're taxpayers. More people you have employed, the more taxpayers you have. And that's just simple economics. I have a degree in marketing, so I had to take economics class. I took micro and macro economics, and I understand it. And I understand supply side economics versus Keynesian economics or government spending. That never works. Every time we try to go there, inflation goes up, and uh, and it slows down the economy. I mean, look at under Obama. Yeah, the inflation rate wasn't all that bad, but the GDP grew at a snail's pace. It was the lowest economic recovery from a deep recession. And we had a deep recession after the housing market bubble uh, blew up. And that caused a ripple effect into the economy. And when that happened, I took a 7% pay cut at work. And all through the Obama years, I made less money than I did under George Bush. Now, the last couple years of the Obama administration, I was back at the same level I was under Bush. But now that Donald Trump is president, I'm making more money than I did when Bush or Obama was president. Yeah, that's right, DJ. The Greece sold it to the tentative politician. That's right. Yep. And I think that's why Trump is so hated by both sides. He's looking out for the people. He's not looking out for the party because he's not a politician. And it is a rare thing that happened in this country that a person who gets into politics, I mean, to run as president, who had no experience in the political field, and come out winning. I don't think Donald Trump expected to win. I think he thought, yeah, I'll do a Everybody thought, oh, Hillary Clinton's going to win this hand down. And then on that November 9th, I watched, and I'm like going, oh my God, it was like a back and forth. And then later on, Trump started getting ahead. And then some of the states that he won, Hillary Clinton, I think, assumed she was going to win those states. And what she did was she only campaigned in states that she knew that she was going to win anyway. She didn't take the time to go to some of the swing states. She didn't go to Michigan. She didn't go to Wisconsin, Ohio, or Pennsylvania. And those were the key states that flipped and went red. And now the Democrats, okay, this is going into another topic that I delved on last week and the week before, how the Democrats are all of a sudden, they want a national popular vote for president. But there is no national popular vote for president. There are 51 different elections for president. And what you do is you are voting for electors that will go to the Electoral College and they will pick the president. Now, this was a compromise by the founders who some wanted a national popular vote and others didn't want to because that would take power away from the least populated states. Otherwise, the states like New York and Virginia would be electing presidents all the time. But I've been listening to other commentators about a national popular vote, and one of the things that they brought up that I thought was very interesting was how, because the Democrats think that they're going to win the national election, but if you go back to the election of 1992, if they would have had a national popular election, Ross Perot would have won. George H.W. Bush would have come in second, and Bill Clinton would have been third. So Democrats better really rethink their strategy, because what will end up happening is then you'll have fringe groups coming in and winning elections. And then what will happen is, instead of 3 parties, you'll have multiple parties. And then you'll have presidents that are elected not by the majority, but by the minority. And then you're still back at square one. So that's why the Electoral College is the best way to elect the new leader of the United States. I mean, look at the countries in Europe. I mean, you could go all the way back to the late 20s when the Nazi Party gained control. They were a fringe group, and they were able to gain enough support to where they just had a plurality, and they were able to win enough seats, and that's how, well, I hate to say this is how Hitler was installed in power. He didn't do it like the Soviets did, the Bolsheviks, where they actually had a civil war, a violent civil war to overthrow the current government. What they did is they took advantage of the economic situation, and they were able to use nationalism, and all of their ideas sounded great. You know, hey, health care for all. We're going to guarantee you jobs. Sound familiar? Even OAC is talking about, we will guarantee an income for people who can't or are unwilling to work. And I'm like, oh, wow, that is really scary, because then you'll open up to the door for people who will say, you know what, I live okay just sitting on my butt. And you know what? That angers me because I'm a disabled person myself. I want to work. I want to get out there, but I know there are a lot of disabled people out there that just can't work. And it makes me mad because then more people who don't want to work will start eating away at that pie that's supposed to go to people who truly need it, the disabled. And that's where I come from. I want that safety net to truly go to people who really, really need it. Not some scofflaw who says, oh, my back, I got a bad back. Now, there are some people who truly have back issues. I've got a friend who's on disability because her back is all screwed up. And I get that. But I see so many people who don't want to work because, because, oh, it's just too hard. I could just get on the government dole and I could get a low-income house. And I'm like, ah! Now you're making it harder for people like me who are disabled to get into affordable housing. And that kind of stuff just irritates me to no end. And these young people just really boggle my mind. And, and it all goes back to education. And this is where people like us on the conservative side, where we fell asleep at the wheel. We should have kept an eye on education. And it just bothers me where it looks like we're going to gain some ground and finally do something about education, and then it's all gone. It's all gone. Case in point, here in Jefferson County, we had a conservative school board. And so the teachers union they hated that. So instead of waiting till the next election to have their candidates go through, they recalled them. And this is what angered me about my clerk and recorder, because she did not follow the law, because the state statute states that you cannot have a petition go on the ballot if it contains false or misleading information. But she did that, and guess what happened to her? She lost in her reelection. Part of me feels sad, but part of me is like, good riddance. She was a career politician, and it bugged me because she kept bouncing from one government job to another because, oh, somebody resigned, so she got put into that position. And so I'm kind of glad she lost. And you know what? I hope Republicans will look at that and say, you know what? Maybe that's not a good way to do it. But you know what? Democrats do it quite a bit. Case in point, here, my city council, we had some council people that won elections, and instead of resigning and then running the election, they waited until if they won, then they resigned, and then instead of having a special election, they chose people to fill those seats. So, All right, DJ, thanks for stopping by. You have a great week. My dad was in Greece back in the late 1990s before he got really sick. He went to Santorini and Mykonos in that area. Oh, he just had a blast on that trip. He also went to Turkey and had a great time. And where else did he go? Oh, he went to Morocco, and he got to ride a camel, which was really cool. But one of my goals is hopefully someday I will get to go to Europe, but I really want to go to the Philippines and, explore that country and around that area. I want to go to Indonesia and Malaysia and also see my friends in Australia. But the next couple of years is going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with the Trump administration. And hopefully we'll finally end this dumb investigation that's just wasting taxpayer money. Now, from what I hear here in Colorado, the state legislature is going to vote on breaking away from the Electoral College here. And it sounds like if that passes, Polis is going to sign it. It's like saying, you know what, candidates, you don't have to come here. We're going to give you our votes. So and what will happen is the candidates will stop coming to Colorado, and but what may end up happening, then you'll have some fringe candidates stop in. They might actually get the popular vote here in Colorado. I mean, wouldn't that be something? We might end up having a president that nobody likes. So be careful what you wish for, Democrats. So, like I said, there's some big things coming for this channel. We're going to have it so we can have guests on the show, and we'll make this a really good show. This will be a lot of fun. We will talk about policy and ideas, but we will do this in a diplomatic, tolerant manner. We're not going to make fun, and we're not going to call names like the other side does quite a bit. So stay tuned, and I think this channel is really going to start moving. Okay, so we got a few more minutes left to go. Steve, do you have any more ideas? I think OAC, I mean, some of her ideas are just very extreme. But it'll be interesting to hear more about what she has to say, and I've been going through some of the things she said. Okay. All right, we got another subscriber. I think I'm up to 70 now, which is cool. Yeah, I'm up to 70 subscribers. Gecka. Gekka says the Avalanche game is on at 1. All right, no problem, my friend. Oh, yeah, OAC says she wants us to fly in hot air balloons, and she could provide all the hot air. Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, one of the things I want to do is my friend Steve here is I want to try to get him on the show. He's a former comedian as myself. Uh, he's a pretty interesting guy, although I don't think we ever met in person. Maybe we did briefly at a club uh, on our road, but I remember his photographs is what I remember. And then when I got on Facebook and he had one of his old comedy headshots on it, I go, oh, I know that guy because he used to do a line about comedy with a porpoise, a play on word. He had like a plastic or rubber porpoise, and that was his tagline. And that just stuck in my head. No problem, Steve. We could do this on a cell phone. All you have to do is, do you have an Android or okay. You probably saw me at Wits End. Yeah, might have been at Wits End that you saw me because I think I saw. Yeah, okay, we could do it with an iPhone. You'll have to use, I believe, Safari browser with that. So I've got some friends that are using vMix, and they're going to walk me through this to where we could take callers, and I will be able to help you out, Steve, with how to set up your camera on your phone so we could see your beautiful mug on the show. I also found out something about Steve. He's a cancer survivor. Steve, if you don't mind, can you tell me what type of cancer you had? Did you have a leukemia, or I don't know? If you feel, if that's okay for me to ask you something, because I've been noticing a lot of comedians that are, they're getting cancer, or they're just, oh, you had prostate cancer. Okay. Okay, so, yeah, my dad had that. I, so, did you have the radiation or the hormone treatment? That's what my dad did, and he was in remission for about 5 years or more before it came back. And when it came back with a vengeance, and that's what brought him down. But yeah, and by the way, Steve, every year I always have my PSA tested, and fortunately for me, it's been really good. I always, because I'm almost 60 and I keep an eye on my PSA numbers, and that's important for you folks out there. Is always get your cancer screenings. Um, when you hit 50, get that colonoscopy done. Oh, you had it removed. Okay. Okay. Yeah, oh, and prostate cancer is what took my brother-in-law. He was about my age, and this is back in 2010, 2011, when he passed away. He did something really stupid. He just, when things started to act up, instead of going to the doctor, I guess he figured, oh, it'll go away. It's just a virus. It's just a UTI, and he waited and waited, and it was by the time he got diagnosed, he was, I think, stage 4 or stage 3. He could have had, taken care of. No, he decided to do the holistic medicine approach and diet, and it went downhill from there. His pain got really bad, and that was the end of him. But my dad, when he did the radiation, he was a smoker for many, many years. And I think when he did the radiation, that it set off his emphysema. He was on oxygen all the time after that, which, it was sad to watch my dad just get thinner and thinner and thinner. Wow, you tried holistic for a year? Oh boy. Yeah, my brother-in-law, he was on that you probably ate a lot of beans, didn't you? That was his thing, eating a lot of red beans, I think he was doing, and red beans and something else, but yeah. So if you do get cancer, get taken care of. There are a lot of really good treatments out there. The cure rates keep going up and up and up. I mean, for prostate cancer, the survival rate is like 80 or 90%. It's just some of the other cancers that are really, tough, like pancreatic cancer, liver cancer. Those are really tough. Fortunately for me, I had a few scares where, I got a lump somewhere. Had that Jake looked at, and they said, "No, you're fine." And I had a mole on my back, between my shoulder blade, just below the collar line, and had that removed, and they checked that. Nope, you're good. I'm like, oh, my mom had lung and brain cancer, and that's what took her. Sadly, it was caught late. It was terminal for her. And this was when I was running for State House, and she was gone within 6 weeks of her diagnosis. I'm sorry about bringing this show down, but hey, you folks out there, get that taken care of. Eat right, exercise, find a hobby that'll get you active. For me, I love fishing. Now I'm into drone flying, and that's gotten me out of the house, and I've lost some weight, and I feel a lot better now. I lost one size, and I'm moving around a lot better. I'm not huffing and puffing when I move. All right, so I want to thank you guys for coming to my show, the first show on YouTube in 2019. Let's make this a great show, and we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend or a great week. God bless you, God bless America, and God bless this great state of Colorado. Bye-bye.